The health of the ocean is on a decline, mostly due to human activities, and we need to become aware. No more out of sight, out of mind when it comes to the preservation of our oceans and the marine life living inside. My purpose is to inform the audience of the effects of global warming and pollution on the ocean. I will be discussing global warming causing warmer oceans and two types of pollution. So let's begin by talking about the effects of global warming on the ocean. Global warming plays a major part in the threat to our oceans. Greenhouse gases are warming the planet. In turn, the surfaces of the oceans are heating up as well. Rising water temperatures are decreasing the amount of oxygen in the ocean waters, which is called deoxygenation. This was thought to mostly occur in dead zones. A dead zone usually occurs off coastal areas where there is little to no marine life due to runoff of pollutants. I will continue discussing dead zones in depth a little later. Scientists are now seeing similar effects as dead zones occurring in open ocean thousands of miles away from the coast and in deeper parts of the ocean. This is happening because of warmer water. According to Craig Welch of National Geographic, warm water simply carries less oxygen. It also stokes the metabolism of both microbes and larger creatures, causing them to use more of whatever oxygen there is. A particular area being impacted by the rising water temperatures are the coral reef. Coral reef has been experiencing a terrible event called coral bleaching. According to the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association, coral bleaching occurs when the coral are stressed by changes in the conditions such as temperature, light, or nutrients, and they expel the symbiotic algae living in their tissues, causing them to turn completely white. This process leaves coral vulnerable and they can end up dying. The coral reef is itself an important ecosystem, one that is being destroyed. According to the same website, this event has occurred once back in 1998, where 16% of the reefs globally were bleached. The event occurred again in 2010 due to underwater heat waves. Both of these events were caused by El Niño, a weather event that brings warmer waters to the Pacific Ocean. The third event has been occurring since October 2015 and has been declared by the NOAA as the longest coral reef bleaching event in history. Next, I'll discuss the effects of pollution on the ocean. Pollution is the second major threat to our oceans. One way pollution is threatening our oceans is through non-point source pollution. The Environmental Protection Agency states non-point source pollution occurs when land pollutants are carried off by rainwater or melted snow into lakes, rivers, and streams, and eventually into the ocean. The pollutants can come from farming pesticides and fertilizers, oil from cars, trash, debris, animal waste, sewer drainage, and other toxins. When those pollutants are deposited into bodies of water, it creates the dead zones I spoke about earlier. The different pollutants cause an overgrowth of algae that ends up sinking and decomposing. This process eats up oxygen in the water. The marine animals and plants end up suffocating. The animals that are able to relocate leave the area, and the ones that can't end up dying along with the plant life, creating a dead zone. Another way pollution is threatening our oceans is through point source pollution. Point source pollution comes from an individual source like the BP oil spill, which was the worst oil spill in U.S. history, or the radiation that spilled into the ocean when the Fukushima nuclear reactors off the coast of Japan were hit by a tsunami. A more recent incident occurred early 2017 in Indiana, where U.S. steel leaked 584 times the allowable limit of a carcinogenic chemical called hexavalent chromium into Lake Michigan, according to the Times' Lauren Leon Cross. This chemical is known to cause cancer and skin lesions. These events are causing devastation to marine ecosystems, and these are only 3 out of so many others. After these types of spills and leaks occur, the marine life still has to try to live. This may mean mutated animals or just dead ones. In conclusion, I have discussed the effects of global warming and pollution on the ocean. We must remember to let go of the out of sight, out of mind way of thinking. We must think of the animals and the oceans that all play a role in our big, giant ecosystem. Thank you for listening.